Hello YouTube, this is Stern Shadow. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the Operation Health patches and what what the community seems to be saying, what I think about it, and whether I think this is going to change anything in the game, particularly at the current minute. So a lot of the communities are moaning because obviously console getting it later, which I understand can be slightly irritating because obviously if you main console, you want to get the update ASAP. But this should mean that we should get it with minimal bugs, which obviously from the past we get new updates and they come with additional bugs and then they get exploited. So I'm hoping that this stops that. A couple of other things is someone was mentioned about spawn peekers. Spawn peekers is a big thing in the game, and what Ubisoft seems to be doing is they're trying to stop instant spawn peeking. So the fact that the second you spawn, someone can run out and somehow get a particular line of sight on you. Now, I agree with some people's comments. Some people's comments say that you should be used to it, and it's a gamble. Sometimes you can do a spawn peek and it'll pay off, but if the attacker's paying attention, they should kill you. And I agree with that. That's the whole point of spawn peeking. I get annoyed as if I'm a defender and somebody dies while spawn peeking, and I get annoyed as an attacker if someone dies by spawn peeking, because it shouldn't happen for attackers. I feel that defenders have that risk. If they want to do it, sometimes it will pay off. They might get one person, they might get two, or sometimes they'll just die for a full night of spawn peeking. But the problem I have is that at the current minute, hit detection and peeker's advantage and everything else which comes into account when spawn peeking is still an issue. So I think addressing spawn peeking now was a mistake. I think they should have waited until they'd fixed hit detection, peeker's advantage and everything else, then gone back and looked at whether spawn peeking is still an issue, because connection errors and NAT problems and all that account to it. So in my series about what is happening, I shot at somebody when they were peeking me, but they didn't die. So if they're fixing the servers and they're making things more server side and they're fixing all that, then that means that spawn peeking should go down. So is what they're going to do, or what they're doing now, just a waste? So I understand why people's argument is. Now they haven't changed them all. They've currently changed Canal, Chalet, and Consulate. So they're the ones they've currently changed now. Now the one I don't like on Canal is that now Fuse Confuse in server room because they've blocked open one of the control tower windows. So whether that they go back and change this might become a thing. Maybe there's a way to open it. Would be a very interesting added feature to Rainbow Six Siege if there was a control panel which allowed you to open it in the actual game itself. That would be quite an interesting idea, because I feel like spawn peaks are part of the game to an extent. As long as you can spawn and and stay in the spawn and not get peeked instantly, then technically that should be fine. It's when you don't move at all in your spawn and you can instantly die when it becomes an issue. So I understand the community's frustration. Now some people are also complaining about Glaz. Now I'm going to talk about Glaz first, then I'm going to go back to the hit detection because I am looking forward to the hit detection. Glaz currently in my eyes is OP. Now the reason I see him as OP, and some people don't, some people do. The reason I see him as OP is because before I could play on plane and I could get 4 kills with him quite easily. Now I probably can still get 4, but I feel that the 4 I get now didn't require as much trickery or as much skill or anything like that. They felt easy, and I understand why people are getting annoyed because his damage is dropping significantly. But we need to remember the fact is that if you headshot somebody on certain maps or in certain peekers, he still has his high targeting scope and whatnot, so he can still peek people off on their heads without them even seeing him. So I do think he is hopefully going to become more balanced, because currently Glaz can storm a room and probably majority of the time wipe out everyone in objective, and if Smoke's in objective, Smoke does nothing against him. So I find it interesting how this is the way they've decided to balance him. I find it interesting how they haven't decided to buff Smoke and make Smoke's invisible through with his sight. So I find it interesting that this is how they're doing it. But I suppose that on some maps, if you're peeking through windows, smoke isn't going to protect you, it is going to be the damage which protects you. But obviously, in certain situations, if he still gets a headshot, you're still going to die. So this should stop him from rushing as much and being as powerful at holding a certain corner, because he should be used to from far away from the objective and be able to peek certain lines of sight, which is hopefully what he will be able to do now. Now, the final thing I'm going to talk about is the hit detection. I am very looking forward to playing as certain operators now with this change, Blitz being one of the big ones. And I want to see what people think about the hitbox being changed. Now, I believe, and I'm only assuming or guessing here, however you want to word it, the reason they aren't adding any more content, cosmetic content, is because they first need to fix the hitboxing. Because obviously, if you get someone a new head equipment, or even a uniform which changes the shape of their body, this will mean that the detection will change. For example, obviously, if they've got a wider headgear, or if they've got a big backpack on their uniform, this will change their hitbox. So I'm assuming that's one reason why they're not adding any cosmetics. Now, I am pleased with what I'm reading. I am looking forward to seeing how it launches on PC, seeing if there's any hiccups, and for all we know, they are going to turn around and bring it forward to console if it turns out there isn't as many problems with it as they are expecting. So we never know, it might come earlier. 20th is an estimated date. So the final thing we're going to talk about, and it's a big thing, is Operation Health worth it, or should we not be getting it? Because many people are rather annoyed about it, because obviously it does mean we are losing a season per se. That's what people's argument is. However, the truth of the matter is, it's delaying a season and we're losing a map. Now, last year we did get an extra map, Bartlett. Admittedly, I don't like Bartlett, but we still got an extra map. And whether they turn around and give us this Polish map, or they give us another map at Christmas time again, we never know. They might turn around and do that. However, we still had some extra thing last year, and if this does fix the game, I am grateful. But I am with people. It is overdue, it is late, and I understand people's argument, because it is stressful and it is annoying that you've had to wait this long for the game to become fixed eventually, and we still don't know if it's going to get fixed. The technical test server is being implemented, and I'm hoping that becomes a regular thing, and I'm hoping it rules out a lot of the bugs which we used to be getting on console. But I'm still not feeling overly confident with Ubisoft updates, which is another reason I am grateful for them doing all the precautions they're doing currently. So I am also looking forward to one-step matchmaking. I do feel that is overdue, and we've been expecting that for a long time now, so I am glad that is being added. But one thing I'm worried about that is does that mean that we're going to be going up against or being partnered with people with worse ping than we currently are? Because I don't know how it is on PC and Xbox, but on PS4, a lot of the times in ranked or in casual, we're going up against people with 100 plus ping, and we're all on 60 or 80. So I'm hoping that with everything they're changing, they're taking this into account, because I'd much rather it stay as it is and then slowly fix us going up against 140s rather than adding one-step matchmaking and making it more regular, because I am getting bored of it. But whether they're fixing peak advantages as well, again, is another matter. How do you fix it? Because it's always going to happen. Connection's going to boil down to it, whether it's giving them an advantage or a disadvantage, it's still always going to affect the game. So that's one thing I'm worried about. Now, I also find it interesting how the way they're doing it, they seem to be doing the one-step matchmaking first rather than the client-side things, and they don't seem to be telling us when they're updating the servers or anything. It's just been put on the back bench, which I kind of don't like, because I would want to know when it's happening. I want to know when they're deciding to fix things or change things, and will it be soon? Because I want to know roughly when this is happening, because if one-step matchmaking launches and we're still getting these hit detection errors or the connection errors, or whatever we're currently getting, because we're all getting a lot of things, is it pointless? We're not going to be able to play Siege at the rate it's going. I mean, I was on yesterday, and I was in ranked, and it was 3-2, and the game glitched out, and nobody would join. It just spazzed out, and we were watching a smoke screen for quite a while, and it finished when me and my friend were versus a team of 3, and we lost. And then we lost, obviously, I think we lost 56 points, which is ridiculous, because how are we supposed to fight an army of 3 when there's only 2 of us on defence? If it was on attack, I would possibly argue that we had a chance, because obviously on attack you can kind of bait them, you can wait for them to peak a little bit more, but on defence you're just going to get rushed because they have the man advantage. So I don't know, I am hoping that Operation Health starts fixing things, but I am with the community in some situations where I feel it can't fix everything, because there's so much things happening. The ranked system is still in beta mode, and I've been playing the game since day one, and I'm still not entirely sure how the game even works with the rank system, because you can ace a team and you can get 56 points, and then it can be a really close match and lose, and you'll lose a lot. And I personally think that if it's a close match and you put up a fair fight, you shouldn't lose that many points. That's my personal opinion. So I don't know, I feel rather confused about how it's working. It's the exact same, for example, if it's bomb, or if you're going up against a full squad, or if they're on mics and things like that. None of these things seem to be taken into consideration. Is that because of parties? I personally would feel better if that meant that if you went into ranked, you'd have to be in game chat, and if so, if you went against a full squad in game chat, you'd either gain more points if you won or lost less. And it's the same with the clan. I think that they need to take these things into account more, because ranked is becoming a thing which you only can do with a squad. Only. I feel like if you do it without, you've got the disadvantage of being partnered with someone who doesn't speak the same language as you, connection errors, and then you've obviously got the problem of team killing and miscommunication and everything else like that. I also feel like consoles, Xbox and PS4, are really at a disadvantage when it comes to playing ranked online, because you can't give callouts to your team. So I feel that PC have an advantage on us. And currently, with the way everything's going, I feel that Siege or Ubisoft is neglecting the console-based players, because we don't have Pro League. Majors don't seem to be advertised as big as anything else, and we just seem to be being shafted a lot. We can't lean round corners. I mean, it's the thing about Blackbeard. Blackbeard, in my opinion, is currently useless. But apparently he got nerfed to the extent he's at is because on PC he was a god, because he could peek round corners and take 4 bullets without aiming down sights. So, I don't know, and I also feel that Ubisoft need to accept the fact that they're changing a lot of operators and then changing them even further. Because when Blitz's hit detection becomes fixed, is he going to become OP because he doesn't have the delay with his Blitz charge anymore like he used to? They're changing all these things. They changed Gryzon, upped his damage and lowered his recoil before giving him his scope. And now they've given him his scope and realised, actually, he's too OP now. We shouldn't have given him the reduced recoil and the buff damage and everything like that. Is the same thing going to happen with Blitz and whoever else they change in the future? So, a couple of things I want to talk about. I only went on T-Hunt because I wanted some additional content. I was just messing around with some different guns to see how I felt with the marksmans and things. But on Friday I will be doing a concept operator video, and I really want to hear what you guys want me to talk about. There's a lot of new ideas, and I really want to have a look and talk to the community to see what ideas we've been coming up with, because I really want to kind of predict what operators are going to come in the future, because I enjoy doing them and I love looking at the communities to see what people are coming up with. I'm not too bothered if they have artwork with them. I just like the ideas and some of the balancing methods people are trying to use when coming up with them, because obviously that is a big thing with new operators being added to Siege. Do they counter anybody? Do they have a counter? What is their balancing method and things like that? So I'm rather looking forward to doing that video on Friday, so please comment down below if you've got any ideas. Subscribe for more content, and I hope you enjoyed this T-Hunt. I do successfully manage to do this one. I've just been messing around a lot lately with different guns just to see how I feel with them. I'm trying to use marksmans more in some situations online, and I just want to experiment a little bit, and I thought it was a good thing to record just for this video. I will also be doing a top tips soon in the future, because I'm seeing a lot of people on Facebook communities posting saying, what tips do you have for new players? I just wanted to add that video because there's so much to cover when you start in this game, what to do, what to not to do, and what to take into account when playing it, because it is a big game, and I think people have forgotten what it's like to start, because many people are just posting get good, which obviously is quite funny if you play the game and if you know that kind of joke, but there is a lot to take into account. There's leaning, there's obviously cameras, there's learning the maps, there's experimenting with different operators. There's lots of people were suggesting important operators, which I felt was kind of hard for someone new starting the game, because obviously that means that they have to play objectives and know what walls are thermite, because we have all been in a situation where someone's done thermite and thermited a room completely irrelevant to the objective. So I will be doing that video in the future as well. And I'll be also doing my favourite DLC operators as well, because a lot of people are posting what DLC operators to buy. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I've been NarenShadow, and you've been amazing.